What if I told you that a global digital identity system linked to cryptocurrency is already active? What would you make of this? The headlines are saying, Sam Altman's eyeball scanning project World makes U.S. debut. Sam Altman's digital ID project World has launched in the U.S., making its controversial iris scanning technology and cryptocurrency token available in the country as Donald Trump's administration embraces the digital asset sector. World manufactures eyeball scanning orbs that generate unique IDs, which can be used to access the group's Worldcoin token. The spherical devices are roughly the size of a basketball, but World is working on handheld models and wants to eventually integrate the technology directly into web cameras or mobile devices. Videos like these are being posted on X. People are already participating. According to reports, World offers a crypto token, Worldcoin, to those who verify their identity with its spherical device called an orb, which scans a user's face and eyes. Globally, the company claims more than 12 million people have already enrolled on its platform. So why has this development got Christians talking? Well, we all know what Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 and 17 says. It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hands or on their foreheads, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. While this world project doesn't involve a literal mark on the hand or forehead, here's what it does. It ties personal identity to a biometric scan, the iris. It links this identity to a digital currency. It enables or restricts economic participation to an extent. And this is based on ID verification. And finally, it centralizes control under a global system, even if it claims to be decentralized. Now, what's some of the common concerns among those Christians who study end-time prophecies? Well, they see the potential for a loss of anonymity and a fear of surveillance. They see the potential for economic coercion via required digital identity. And they also see one-world system parallels. A lot of prophetic interpretations lead many to believe that there will be a one-world government or one-world currency. But regardless of all that is happening, I want you to keep your eyes focused on Jesus Christ always.
There is a lot of conversation around this. The development of AI brings a lot of benefits to society. Technology is making our day-to-day lives more efficient, and when placed in the right hands, there can be much good that comes from it. However, in some Christian pockets, there is a theory that the massive development of and investment into AI technology is setting the world up for the beast system of Revelation 13. If you read the entire chapter closely, the key takeaway in terms of the establishment of a beast system is power. Military power, monetary power, supernatural power. And here's where the link comes in with AI. Many believe that AI will shape each and every country's military capabilities in the future. Sentient Digital Incorporated, a technology solutions provider for government and commercial clients, say, and I quote, "As AI becomes more essential, military dominance won't be defined by the size of an army, but by the performance of its algorithms. So it merits examination of how the military currently uses AI and how it may use AI in the future. And when it comes to money, we've all heard about central bank digital currencies, crypto, blockchain, and e-wallets. We have all seen the gradual shift in the world as we move towards a cashless economy. A lot of Christian scholars interpret the development of AI and the investment into AI as a fundamental building block in relation to Revelation 13. Technology will underpin the beast system. Because the more technology that's in place, the more control the antichrist will have. And with military control, monetary control, no wonder we read the following, and I will underline every keyword related to control. Verse 2. The beast I saw resembled a leopard, but I had feet like those of a bear, and a mouth like that of a lion. The dragon gave the beast his power, and his throne, and great authority. Verse 3. One of the heads of the beast seemed to have a fatal wound, but the fatal wound had been healed. The whole world was filled with wonder and followed the beast. Verse 3 demonstrates supernatural power. Verse 4. People worshipped the dragon because he had given authority to the beast. And they also worshipped the beast and asked, "Who is like the beast? Who can wage war against it?" Here is another demonstration of this recurring theme of power in all aspects to life on earth. Verse 5. The beast was given a mouth to utter proud words and blasphemies and to exercise its authority for 42 months. And verse 7 says, "It was given power to wage war against God's holy people and to conquer them. And it was given authority over every tribe, people, language, and nation." When it comes to the beast, the word authority is used 5 times in the entire chapter. And over again you read these phrases: given power to wage war, to conquer them, given authority. So you see, the devil's aim will be to control every aspect of humans. The beast will want to control people spiritually so that they would worship it. It will also want to forcefully control people's lives because that is Satan's purpose, to oppress. Now, in further looking into the development of technology and how it could impact religion, I came across a 2024 article that read, CEO Sam Altman celebrates 12 days of open AI as his company pursues advent of digital God. Here are a few lines from this, and I quote, "In an essay published this September, Altman said that, 'It is possible we will have superintelligence in a few thousand days, and that this will lead to the discovery of all physics and nearly limitless intelligence and abundant energy.' He further wrote that the emergence of superintelligence, being the culmination of a millennia-long process of technological progress, may turn out to be the most consequential fact about all of history so far. For Christians, the most consequential fact of history is the incarnation of Christ, who came to unite God and man through his life, death, and resurrection. Yet, for Altman, the center of history is not God being born into the world of the Virgin Mary. Rather, it's the nearly limitless intelligence of a digital God being born into the world through his corporation." End quote. In today's world, it seems like everything keeps trying to try God's patience, exploring concepts outside God's design and promoting unscriptural ideas. That should not be surprising, since the Bible says in 2 Timothy 4 verse 3, "For the time will come when people will not put up with sound doctrine. Instead, to suit their own desires, they will gather around them a great number of teachers to say what their itching ears want to hear." So you have to ask yourself, why is there this search for limitless intelligence? Why is there this thirst for control? As the Bible predicted, knowledge will increase in the last days, which would make man think they can live without God. This knowledge to create all these machines that would be used to advance human life is from God. He created the world in the first place and put everything in the order he wants it to be. So how should Christians interpret all of this? Well, it's good to be informed, but we must not let this information consume our thoughts and lives. We must not let these possibilities bring fear to us. Instead, we ought to focus on a personal relationship with Jesus Christ.
Now, with all that has been said, I want to share a story with you, and may this story remind and encourage you to always look unto Jesus. Don't be distracted with anything in this world, because if you look at the world today, godliness is not a priority for a lot of people. Godliness is not sought after by a lot of people today, even those in the church. And you see the devil has cleverly deceived a lot of people to believe one particular lie, a lie that we can be righteous on our own. The enemy wants us to believe that we can operate independently. The enemy has lied to people by telling them that they can live independently of God, but this is not true. We need to always keep our eyes fixed on Christ.
The next thing we must turn our eyes away from is worldly distractions. It can be easy to think that life is about accumulating many possessions. However, the truth is that all of those things will fade away. Everything you own will either end up in the trash or in a garage sale. While our possessions are good things from God, they are not more valuable than God and should not be treated as so. Psalm 119 verse 37 says, "Turn my eyes from looking at worthless things and give me life in your ways." The distractions of this world in the form of possessions are worthless. They will all fade away. However, in the ways of God, we find true life. Worldly distractions are not always material, but can also be mental. Many people are distracted by power. They think that if I just achieve a certain amount of power, I will have made it. Their whole life centers around gaining power. They climb up corporate ladders and give all their time to work, yet in the end, they end up with no genuine relationships on their deathbed. It is good to desire success, yet desiring success at the cost of following God's ways leads to nothing but emptiness. Lastly, we need to turn our eyes away from evil pride. We can often find false hope in thinking that we have it all together. We may say things about ourselves such as we are good, gifted, and skilled. It is good to think that way. However, instead of pointing to God, we are lifting ourselves up. Our talents and skills were given to us by God, and we should point back to Him with them. Proverbs 21 verse 4 says, "Haughty eyes and a proud heart and evil actions are all sin." When we fill our eyes with our own greatness, we have a proud heart and are sinning. Let's say you're helping with a friend's wedding. Your job is to hire a photographer. You read reviews on many different photographers and hire the one who is best for the job. The photographer comes to the wedding and introduces herself. As the wedding starts, you see them taking photos. However, instead of facing the camera at the bride, groom, and guests, the photographer has the lens facing at themselves. You may think that this technique is weird, but you trust this photographer due to their great reviews. A few weeks later, you get all of the pictures. There are little to no photos of the bride, groom, and guests. However, every image is a selfie of the photographer. They have misused the gift or privilege of being a photographer and made themselves the center of the wedding. This is what evil pride does. It enables people to use the gift that God has given them to point back at themselves. Instead, we need to turn away from evil pride and point to the one who has given us the gift. So we know what to turn from, but what should we turn to look at? What should we fill our souls with? As the old hymn says, we turn our eyes to Jesus. Hebrews 12 verse 2 says, "Looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God." Jesus is the one we put our hope in as our eyes want to wander. As we look at the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus, we fill ourselves up with the light and turn away from the darkness. Let us all turn our eyes from evil and look at the founder and perfecter of our faith.
In our world today, not only is there evil at every corner, not only is there temptation all around us, But this world provides you with so many distractions. There are many things vying for our attention on a day-to-day basis. And to be honest, we can easily, and sometimes unknowingly, lose focus on what really matters in life. And so I encourage you to take a moment and think about whether or not you are truly living for Jesus Christ. Or are you content living life and simply putting Jesus Christ alongside everything and everyone else? The Bible in Hebrews 3 verse 15 says, "While it is said, 'Today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts as in the rebellion.'" And on this matter of hardening your heart, Proverbs 28 verse 14 says, "Happy is the man who is always reverent, but he who hardens his heart will fall into calamity." Now, what does it mean to have a hardened heart? It means spiritual blindness. It means insensitivity towards God's beauty and glory. It means chasing after our own desires instead of the things of God. A hardened heart rejects God. But thankfully, in His mercy, God has offered to change our hearts. And I want you to know that God can change our hearts. Ezekiel 36, verse 26, "And I will give you a new heart, and a new spirit I will put within you, and I will remove the heart of stone from your flesh, and give you a heart of flesh." Since the beginning of time, God has been drawing us toward Himself. Even when we stubbornly ignore Him, He doesn't walk away. He never gives up on us. In the book of Matthew, Jesus compares His second coming to a great wedding feast, a joyful celebration of the perfect union between Jesus Christ and His bride, the church. And so we are invited to the greatest dinner banquet of all time. Have you responded to that invitation? Or are you putting it off until the last minute? Maybe you've become deafened to the sound of Him knocking. Maybe your attention has been captured by other things, like work and finances and romantic love. Those things seem important until you realize that they are only temporary. And when your life is over or Jesus returns, they will no longer be of any value. We all think we have more time to get right with God, but the truth is that life is short. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Everything we do today matters on an eternal level. If Jesus came back today, would you be ready? Would you be able to say that your heart was firmly set on Christ? Now is the time to place your faith in Jesus. And so, today, if you hear His voice, don't harden your heart. Instead, allow Him to come in and change your life forever.